Tony Castronova will join me in this initial, very, very brief introduction to the workshop. We are part of the CyberWater team, but we're helping on the community outreach side of things. And what we have on the seminar today is the development team. We're making a series of presentations and demonstrations to introduce you to CyberWater. And so what is CyberWater and why this workshop? We are in year 3, end of the year 3 of this project. And the development team has been very hard at work and is now ready for feedback on what they've been doing and trying to get greater input from the community about what is useful. So we want to find out from you what's useful in these, as you look at these demonstrations that we're going to give you, what's not so useful. How do you see yourself using the software? What do you see as the barriers for your use of the software? And your opinion on whether the CyberWater meets your needs and the needs of the community at large. So those are the questions we would like to have you think about as you look at these demonstrations today. So what is CyberWater? It's a visual modeling environment designed for water-centric models. Here's a very, very simple workflow, but it's an example of what the visual workflow looks like. And Daniel will be giving a demonstration about this interface. And it utilizes web-based data services to access data from various agencies. This is why Quasi's been involved with the CyberWater from the beginning. It started as a series of workshops a lot of years ago, right? Sue, was, I don't know, 6 years ago or 7 years ago that this has been in discussion. And it was a way of getting access to these web-based data services in a way which we believe is very useful. And it kind of realized the potential of these web-based data services. All you need to do is basically specify a time period of interest, specify a spatial range of interest. You can then grab data and then visualize the data, in this case, a simple plot. Something like this. So here's a way which you can do this without any programming. You don't need to know how to use a REST web service, and you can get access to the data and begin to do something with it. In general, what's going to be described here is how to use these tools to make an integrated workflow where you, again, specify a spatial and temporal range of interest. You get forcing data that you need to drive a model, convert the units as needed, run the model, and visualize output. Data services provide access to continental to global scale data. A key use case where we think this is very useful is that it allows you to easily run your model in different locations. It provides seamless access to high performance computing. Ranran will be giving a demonstration about how one can access HPC. We also have, or the development team has also developed what they call a generic model agent, which enables you to bring a model of your choice, so in other words, your model into this environment with minimal to no programming. And unlike many modular modeling environments, the key concept here is really your model remains as an integral unit. And the focus here is just being able to have others execute your model readily, rather than a focus as in some of the modular environments like CSDMS, where the concept is really one of developing a library of processes, for example. Here, that's not the main thrust of this effort, and hence the software engineering is much less complicated. So the hope here is that this becomes a very useful tool that can be used for both educational purposes. So in the classroom, when you want to have your students use hydrologic models, or as a researcher, when you want your graduate students to run the model, or somebody else in your team to run the model, or to share your models with others. That's what we see as important use cases. But part of the questions we'd like you to be thinking about is what are the other use cases where you see this might be helpful to you, as well as checking whether our conception of what these important use cases are, whether those are accurate or whether you disagree with that. We really want to hear your honest opinion on these matters. The overall schedule for today is quite simple. Sue, who's the PI of the project, will be giving an overview of CyberWater and the development effort. Then we'll go into 4 roughly 15-minute demonstrations, the CyberWater interface, porting your model to CyberWater, accessing HPC and using GIS in CyberWater. After each of these will be an opportunity to ask questions. Also, though, it'll be a chance for you to while questions are going on, to fill in a brief survey. We'll then finish up with closing remarks and any final questions and ask you to complete the survey at the end of the presentation today. So overall, it should take roughly 90 minutes is what we're shooting for. The link to survey, I guess, is in the chat window. Tony, if you have put that in, okay, he's just posted that to the chat window. So you can just click on the survey from that link. We ask you just complete the sections after each demo to give us feedback. And of course, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. If the survey is completed, Quasi will send you a $50 gift card to thank you for your time and participation in this workshop today.